Hi guys, and welcome back to World of Tanks, and finally the return of the subscriber series. I know I stopped it because of having issues with the website that I used to basically get the clips that you send me that are on YouTube, and for whatever reason just couldn't get it to work. Back up and running now, so I've just grabbed a couple of later replays in the interests of saving a bit of time to get this done, and I'll have to go back through the emails and look for everything. But like I said in the video the other day, not just good games, but just any funny little clips. You can record them using the just the recording function on your PlayStation or on your Xbox, and upload them either using, well, just Capture Gallery on the PlayStation if you don't want to edit it, or you can use, I think, Upload Studio on the Xbox One. Upload it to YouTube if that's easier for you as unlisted, and then just send me the link and I can get it from there. But yeah, just funny little clips, anything like that, so I can try and do sort of humorous. And the email to send the clips to is actually in the descriptions of just about all my videos anyway, or I'd say anything from this year at least. So yeah, there is that. I think it's Captain's Replays or something, but anyway, it's in there for you to send them in. Otherwise, obviously, you can get them off your console into your PC. You can put them in Microsoft OneDrive or Google Drive, something like that, and send me the link that way. In fact, this one was actually done by uploading to YouTube and sending me the link, and you can actually see this on McLogo's. In fact, yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, this is McLogo, and he's in his T25 Vengeance. Got a bit carried away there. So yeah, you can see that on his YouTube channel as well, and the next one was actually sent to me as a Google Drive file, so there you go. Not that that's interesting in any way, shape or form, but back to this match. So, Heilbronn, tier 8 match, as you saw back at the beginning, so quite favourable matchmaking, and yeah, I almost felt sorry for that guy there, trying to get away from something else and got one in the back. And now he's spotted a Tiger 2 up that way. There are some other people from the same clan as him in this match, but he's not platooned up with them. They're platooned up with other people. Now, normally, do you know what? I haven't seen that many tanks go to the town on Heilbronn for quite a while, actually. It's normally quite sparse in the town, in my experience, whenever I've been on Heilbronn. Probably over the last few weeks. So yeah, it's quite nice to, well, hopefully see people going into the town again, unless this is an older one. But it is quite favourable matchmaking for him, him being in tier 8, and he's just taken out that Churchill. There was a Tiger 1 up there, but it looks like he's backed off, and it looks like this side of the map's pretty much under control. There's that Tiger 1. However, the town's looking a bit more the opposite way in favour of the enemy team. But he's not going to go towards Cap. He's going to come down towards the middle and see if he can lend a hand down here by putting some shots in on the flank as well. Now, oh, can he get the KV-3? Yep. I'm probably going to misidentify some of these because, one, it's a small preview window, and two, he's still got the standard red enemies, and with me being red-green colourblind, yeah, I've been having some difficulty actually seeing what he's shooting at sometimes, especially when it's through the greenery. Is that a panther? It looked like a panther. Yeah, definitely a panther there. Just managed to get a good hit into the side of him. I think, if I remember rightly, this doesn't have a great shell velocity on its shells, although it's not too savage at that range. But I was thinking about this when I was reviewing the pattern KR, you know, the Ripper pattern, the recent premium one, and yeah, I was kind of thinking about which one I'd actually prefer, and I was also thinking about possibly whether, if I'd have got the pattern already, would I have bought the T25 Vengeance, because I've got this one myself. And oh, something just hit me in the side there. There was that light tank that went up, but I think that was that Tiger 1 possibly, and it looked like a moment of panic set in, but he's just collected himself, pulled him together. Yeah, I think it was that Tiger 1 up there, and he's just poking out. It's a good hit on him and takes a bounce in return. But yeah, I don't know which I would have gone for, to be honest, if it was a choice. I do prefer the paint job on the Vengeance over the Ripper pattern, but the Ripper pattern, I don't know, the Vengeance, although it's got a smaller engine, fantastic terrain resistance, and I think it's got a higher top speed, but it's got less armour, but they've both got that trolley gun mantle, so yeah, it would have been a tough one, I think. And I think that's what's sort of holding me back slightly at the moment, is that I've got the Vengeance, otherwise I probably would have bought that bundle already. And nice hit into the T69, it looks like, from the turret shape. I can't see the writing. We tracked him and then managed to finish him off. But I definitely want the Scorpion G. I'm definitely going to get that one. It's just whether to pick up the pack or just the Scorpion G. Now, I think, is that a Centurion 1? Possibly, that he's shooting at through there. Again, I think he managed to track him, or I'm assuming he did, with the I can't think what it's called now. Module damage-ish thing, ribbon. Anyway, regardless, that guy's dead. He's not, and there's still slightly in the enemy favour by, is that 10? Again, struggling with some of the colours when it's against certain things. But they are ever so slightly in the lead, but they've now got somebody in cap. But Heilbronn is one of those with the longer cap timer, or it seems to be. I think some of them are quite short, aren't they? Still, or did they extend all the cap timers? I know on the bigger maps they normally have a longer cap timer to give you a chance to get back, especially if you're in a big, slow heavy. Speaking of heavies, there's a Tiger II coming back through the town to try and interrupt that cap. But McLogo's interrupted him. Now, you can see he's kind of panicking a bit because he's going straight across, trying to get back towards cap. And possibly should have just waited and tried to deal with McLogo first, because that's now probably going to be the death of him. But unfortunately the friendly cap is also in danger, although that has just been interrupted. Either interrupted or they've left. Not quite sure now. He's just pulled back, and that was quite a nice little shot through there, just enough of him to see and to take him down. And yeah, that was a close one. T-34-85. And was that just the T-34-85? No, there's a heavy tank there as well, I think. Now, what's the heavy? KV-4? Again, just struggling to see the writing. You'll probably be able to see it. But the T-34-85 has come round on him. Did take a hit from that, but he's gone for the ram, and yeah, he's back to bouncing, and that's him done. But it's not looking too good, although they have nearly capped out. So, well, there's about, I say nearly, there's about 40 seconds left, but it's very far down the bar, probably 4/5 full, and there's only one guy in the enemy cap, and he's trying to take down that KV-4. Now he's switched to his premium ammo, his APCR, to take down the Tiger II, and I think he may have forgotten about it because he was using it on the T-34-85 as well, but now it's coming in handy against the KV-4, but it just doesn't seem to be stopping him. And, oh, never. The KV-4's managed to interrupt cap, and unfortunately there's now two enemy tanks in the friendly cap, and you see, now there's a choice here. He's come back to try and take down this KV-4, but even if he jumps into cap as well, the enemy team are going to cap first because they've got that lead. But did he have enough time to get back across the field to interrupt cap? That's the question, and if he did, would the Tiger have been able to deal with the KV-4 on his own? Is the Tiger fully upgraded? I'm not entirely sure, but as you see from the results screen at the end, the Tiger didn't have a particularly good game. And, you know, everybody has bad games. I'm not saying he's a bad player or anything like that, but he just didn't have a particularly good game. It's a fact. It's there in black and white. And I think it was about 800 damage. So, you know, it may be that he wasn't fully upgraded, may have struggled against the KV-4, but it's just one of those decisions. You know, he stayed to help out a teammate and take down that KV-4. If it had gone back across the map, Would he have got back in time? Maybe. He was on very low health. He may have popped around a corner and got shot and killed. So it was, like I say, just one of those decisions. It was unfortunate, but he had a cracking game nonetheless. It was just a shame it couldn't have been a win just to make it even better. But he got a Radley-Walters out of that Devastator. Top gun as well, and a high caliber. And I have a feeling that if that was a win, in fact no, he would have got the XP for that, but I think if that was a win he possibly would have got higher base XP and maybe come away with a mastery as well. But yeah, very, very good game. Just a shame at the end, like I say. But it's just one of those things. I'm sure we've all made those decisions. It was a tough one. It was a one-shot kill basically for anything that was left, so you know it could have gone either way. But there you go. Thank you for sending me that one in, McLogo. Anyway, here we are for the second one. This is Radinko245, Tier 6 match. He's in the Tier 6 German TD, Tech Tree 1, the Flat Panzer, or to give it its proper name, the Jagdpanzer IV. And do you know, I've heard quite a few people give this a bit of stick, and you know, a lot of people say it's a bit of a low in the line, that the Stugs are quite fun. You know, at Tier 4 and 5, especially at Tier 4, with that derp gun on when you're top tier, and when you're on city maps, that sort of thing. I know it's quite a few criteria to fulfill, but when it comes together, it's quite good fun in that one. But yeah, a lot of people sort of say this is a bit of a low point of the line, but I don't know. I didn't mind it, to be honest. It's not my favourite tank, and it's probably not my favourite tank even. Well, I suppose by saying that I am admitting that it's the low point in the line, but I don't know, that kind of feels like I'm saying it's bad, but no, I don't think it's a terrible TD, to be honest. And you know, it can't be that bad. Radinko has quite a good game in it in this, and if it was that bad, you know, it's doubtful he probably would have got the result that he does. You know, bad tank's a bad tank, and if it's a truly bad tank, then you would struggle to, you know, get any sort of decent result in it. But yeah, I didn't think this was too bad, and I think it gets a bit of a bad time, but it's, oh, isn't that lovely? Look, very considerate tankers. Now look at that TD sat there in a nice position, being able to shoot at those, you know, unfriendly tanks down there. What should we do? Should we back him up? No, let's go and sit in front of him. Anyway, he's managed to get around those two. I think one of them has died now. But he seemed to be bouncing off the front of that gun carriage. Now, the gun carriage is one of those tanks as well, and I'm talking about a few other things, but it's one of those that you don't see very often. Again, gets a very bad rap, and, you know, some of it is earned and suited. But again, it does kind of have its, you know, couple of good features. And it's one of those tanks that, because you don't see very often, it quite often surprises people when they do come up against it. And some of the armour on the front is fairly tough. Some of it's a bit thinner, but it's you know, for its tier, it can have it's got a bit of punch to its gun. And again, I'm not saying it's an outstanding tank, but you know, it does have its good features. It's definitely got its bad ones as well, though. But it's not, like I say, not one that you see very often. And yeah, I think I might have to rebuy that and break it out for a sort of new mini series that I'm planning. But at the moment, well, it's not going too bad on this corner. They have lost quite a few tanks. I mean, the match in general is not going particularly well. Most, well, I'd say about half of his team are dead, and they've only managed to take down 2 on the enemy team, although he has scored 5 hits of his own, and there's 6 assisted there as well. So, you know, the damage is being done down here. But now the enemy team are really pushing round. But he's moved back. He's got this bush in front of him. There's other foliage in between that and the enemies, and that is really helping with his concealment. And something I've not mentioned for a while as well, and you know, if anybody who's sort of new to the channel and new to the game as well, with concealment, and see, it doesn't work as well on here as it does on World of Tanks on PC. The concealment seems to work a lot better on there with the foliage and the bushes than it does on here. But you see what Radinko's just done there? He was sat right behind the bush, but he's then pulled back. And that's because when you're sat sort of within the bush or just behind it, it's basically within, I think it's 15 feet or 15 metre radius, something like that. That was a nice shot you see, and he's not being spotted, and that was quite close. So that just basically goes towards with what I was saying there. So if you sat in it or just behind it and you fired, the bush or the foliage loses its concealment rating for so many seconds, a bit like when you fire, yours goes up slightly if you're in TD. See, now he's been spotted, now they're a bit closer, and he's had to switch to his premium ammo to get through the front of that Churchill gun carriage. Like I say, they can be quite tough, and he wants to make sure he gets rid of him, and that's him done. They can have a, like I say, a bit of a nasty punch to their gun. But yeah, the back to the concealment. The bush foliage loses its concealment value. However, if you back off to basically, I think it's 15 metres or 15 feet, whichever one it is, although there is quite a big difference. When you fire through it, it won't lose its concealment value because you're sort of out of that area. A general rule is you basically pull back until the bush isn't see-through anymore. So if you look through your gun, it's obviously see-through when you're close to it, and as you pull back, it goes solid again, or you know, opaque. So that's roughly when you're behind it. Now, that was a very, very close one from artillery as it was going up that hill. And basically what he's done, there's only 3 of them left now. There's a heavy tank. Oh, there's a TD that's come round. A Wolverine. And the Wolverine seems to be panicking slightly, although it just took a hit from the Chaffee there. That was the first bit of damage, I think. But yeah, he started off up the hill. Artie went for him, and when he dropped off radar, he span it around and came back this way, and that was to try and throw the enemy team off. Unfortunately, he got spotted on the way back, so they know roughly which way he's going to be going now. But it was a nice job of taking down that Wolverine. He was on quite full health, and he got a bit of a spanking, to be honest. And again, it happens to everybody. But that Chaffee, now there's a T-34 in cap, and he's not being spotted. His camo net's up. That's those poor Russian optics. But it looked like he was, he'd sort of gone and parked in cap and then gone and made a cup of tea or something, because he just did not respond to being shot in the ass. Well, there you go. In fact, he probably did. Just thought, I'm safe now, I've gone cap. They're about dead. Comes back, blown up tank, and yeah, things are not going as well as they were when he left. Now there's that Chaffee, and good, he's gone. I know there's a couple of mediums left, TD, RT, all dangerous, but I'd say the Chaffee was probably the biggest threat. And that's because of its speed. Because it can just get around you, especially in a, you know, something like this with a fixed gun, and that was very, very close. In fact, these arty shots, yeah, a couple of those have been sort of bum squeaking close, and that cost him then that small rise in the ground that came off the bottom of that hill. He was just going to take the shot, and he hit that, and it forced his gun up, and he took a hit underneath, so that did cost him. But it was a nice shot between the 2 wrecked tanks. And then Artie's having another go. Oh, there's the enemy TD. It's an 88. Now, this is going to be a tricky one. And that's just what you need as well. A heavy tank blocking your way. I don't think that was... There was nothing vindictive in that. That was just poor placement. He took his shot and backed straight off after realising his error. Now, Radinko's dropped off radar again. So instead of trying to take on the 88 frontally with this, which is, you know, I mean, let's face it, is a one-shot kill. 88s, they are tough. They do have the weak spots, but you've got to hit them. And he had a lot of health left. So he dropped off radar, span around to try and get around behind him. But again, unfortunately, there was somebody there to spot him. So now they kind of know which way he's going to be coming from. Now the heavy tank is SOSing, but the best thing for him and for Radinko is to basically for Radinko to get round behind him. And I would have thought possibly by now he may be assuming, or he may have guessed that that's what he wanted to do. Now Radinko's gone straight up, you can see, towards the middle of the swamp, and again he started heading that way when he was on radar. So by going up that way, you know, it may throw them off to think he's going right around the top, but he hasn't. He's cut straight through the swamp. We know where the TD is. We've got a good idea where Artie is probably going to be, and he's probably going to be somewhere over near the enemy sort of end of the map, or the sort of near the cap, more than likely. Because he wasn't with the other Artie, and I would have thought that, you know, if he was going to have made a move, it would have probably come down with the other Artie to provide each other cover. Now, you've just seen there, the TD, the 88, has taken out that heavy that was with him. But I would say that Radinko's going to get to cap first, and that 88 is probably going to be quite pushed to get back here to reset. He's going to have to start heading back now, and if he's heading, well, if he's heading over to Radinko's cap and he doesn't get in there first, then he's more or less lost. And that was quite nicely done, taking out the lefty there. That was very close though. Thankfully the lefty is very inaccurate, so generally one of the safest places to be when you're going up against a lefty is normally in front of it, because it can't hit the inside of a barn from the inside. Yeah, I mean, I know I've got a lefty, and yeah, it can hit things. It just doesn't seem to want to very often. But he's now got into cap. He's had a fantastic game so far. Very well played, technically. And I don't mean, you know, technically it was good, but you could also argue that it was bad. I mean, sort of technically, as in he just sort of did things right. You know, he used the concealment, he pulled back from the bushes, changed direction when he dropped off radar to try and throw them off. And, you know, instead of trying to take on that 88 frontally with very little health, he went to get around behind it. It just didn't quite work out. But now he's gone into cap, he's drawing the 88 back, and why not? And you can see he's using that bush again, and he's sat further back from it. Now the downside to that is if you sit too far back, you can't see through it either. So a lot of the time you have to sort of sit next to it or just in it to obviously see through it, and then you pull back and wait before you take your shot. But that 88's not come through the middle of the swamp. And from where he was, I'm guessing that would have been the quickest way to come back. I really don't think he's got enough speed to turn around and go back through the valley with where he was when he was last on map, I don't think. So I'm quite surprised he's not come the other way, but he was given enough time. But now it's going to be too little too late. There's only 8 seconds left. He's not popped up on the map yet, so if he's anywhere close by or close enough to do anything about losing this game, then I think he would have shown up by now. But there you go, we'll never know where he was. But a cracking game from Radinko, showing that the flat panzer can't be as bad as some people make out. Now he did lose money on that because he went through a hell of a lot of ammo and ended up on premium at the end, but 2,738 damage done. He came out with a high caliber, an ace tanker, a Poole's medal, no Radley-Walters because you can't get a Radley's if you get a Poole's, but he did get a Devastator. He also got an Invader, I think that's a sniper, and a Top Gun as well. So yeah, cracking game, and thank you for sending that one in to me, Radinko, again. So there you go. I hope you've all enjoyed that. I'm looking forward to seeing what else I get sent in, and also looking forward to seeing the sort of funny clips. Just put a little description or a time code or something to let me know what I'm looking for and where it's from. But I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys send in for me again. But anyway, there you go. I'll be back tomorrow with another video for you, hopefully catching up on the one I'm behind this week as well. So yeah, until then, take care out there, and I'll catch you next time. See you later.